In a moment, Chen Yuan felt the excruciating stomach pain caused by the poison, but after adding 50 enhancement points to his physique, the pain noticeably decreased. This poison should be enough to take down an elephant, but facing Chen Yuan, sorry, it only causes a slight stomach ache, he thought to himself. As the pain gradually subsided, Chen Yuan let out a sigh of relief. You scared me half to death. The power of the system never disappoints me. If necessary, I can continue to increase my physique points to completely counter the effects of the poison. The higher the physique, the better the resistance to toxins. You want to poison me to death? You must be dreaming in broad daylight. However, thinking about Wai Shaman Ku's working style, Chen Yuan did not rush to get up or do anything, knowing for sure that the enemy would come to check on him. He lay still, trying to analyze carefully. Although he had carelessly ingested poisoned water this time, he still had time to ponder how such pure water could be contaminated with poison. This Wai Shaman Ku must have closely monitored my schedule, knowing I was under police protection and when I would return to the hotel. He might be hiding somewhere nearby, maybe even standing right in front of me without my noticing. Chen Yuan silently speculated. Could it be that Wai Shaman Ku is playing the role of a servant, a protector, or even one of the guests strolling around the hotel, or perhaps Bella's assistant? With a series of hypotheses and deductions running through his mind, Chen Yuan reached a conclusion. Wait, could it be that I've been fooled by my own thoughts? Who says Wai Shaman Ku has to be a beautiful woman? I've been thinking that way for too long. I was indeed wrong. Men can be assassins too. That's right. Perhaps this assassin is that unpredictable manager, the one who oversees everything around Bella. I was mistaken to only suspect beautiful girls while forgetting about the men. Fine, if he wants to send flowers, then I will give him an even bigger shock. So Chen Yuan continued to patiently lie in wait. This assassin had a habit of sending flowers to his victims after completing a mission. A deep red rose like blood, as if to flaunt his achievements. And Chen Yuan was sure this person would come. Sure enough, Chen Yuan had barely settled in when an interesting event occurred. A delivery guy in a helmet holding a bunch of blood-red roses approached. Just as he arrived at room 3602 of Chen Yuan, the delivery guy casually knocked on the door. But before the roses could be delivered, a strong police squad suddenly rushed out from the corner and tackled the young man as if they had just captured an international criminal. The delivery guy, terrified, almost burst into tears. "Oh my God, what are you doing? I'm just here to deliver something. I don't have any illegal goods or bombs." An aggressive SWAT officer shouted, "Tell us quickly. Who are you? And what are you doing here?" Panicking, the delivery guy yelled to prove his innocence. "It's nothing, officer. I'm just delivering a bouquet of roses. Someone ordered it for room 3602 as a surprise. It's just roses. Please check it out. There are no bombs." The team leader was half convinced and half suspicious of the bouquet, but this was no ordinary flower. They were blood red, terrifyingly beautiful. Immediately, the captain became more alert than ever. "Holy shit, this isn't good. Knock on the door to check Mr. Chen." The entire team quickly shifted direction, pounding on the door. "Mr. Chen, are you okay? Mr. Chen." But after knocking for a long time, no one answered. The whole team looked at each other, their eyes filled with concern, the feeling of fear beginning to spread. No one knew whether Chen Yuan was still alive or not. Without further thought, the captain shouted, "This is not good. Kick the door in." The loud noise echoed down the hallway. The door of the room was repeatedly kicked by the police, creating a breathless scene no one expected. In less than 10 seconds, the door burst open like in an action movie. The police rushed into the room, but in front of them, Chen Yuan lay still, not moving. So they all thought he had gone to meet his ancestors after drinking that deadly bottle of water. The captain was sweating profusely, immediately stopping his subordinates and sitting down to check. "I'm afraid Mr. Chen has encountered a problem. Secure the scene. Call headquarters for reinforcements, including forensic experts and evidence specialists. Damn, they dared to kill someone right next to me. Mr. Chen, I owe you an apology. I couldn't protect you. I'm unworthy of being in the special forces." Just as the captain was fermenting himself, Chen Yuan suddenly shifted and tapped his shoulder, speaking gently. "All right, bro. Calm down. I'm not dead yet." The captain was still misty-eyed, looking at Chen Yuan in confusion. "Oh, then why didn't you react earlier?" But just a second later, the captain jumped up, eyes wide and mouth agape. "What? You're still alive." The police behind were also stunned at the sight of Chen Yuan slowly getting up from the floor, creating a scene no different from a horror movie. Chen Yuan replied, as if he had just been playing hide and seek with death. "I'd just like to lie down and think for a bit." As Chen Yuan slowly stood up, in room 3601, Wai Shaman Ku was almost frozen, his face blank as if he had just been slapped. What? Why is he still alive? That poison didn't affect him at all. Even an elephant would die from it. While Waisha Man Kui was angry and couldn't understand what was happening, Chen Yuan calmly opened his laptop, starting to operate it professionally as if nothing had happened. His fingers flew over the keys as swiftly as a real hacker. He began to check the surveillance camera system around the room. If there are hidden cameras in the room, then this must be connected to some nearby electronic device to transfer data, and the range of these types of cameras is usually quite limited, unlike some wired devices. As long as I catch the connecting device, I'll know right away who's behind this, Chen Yuan calculated silently. With his top-notch hacking skills, this was just a piece of cake for Chen Yuan. Not only that, he also took the opportunity to infiltrate the hotel's management system and access the information of booked guests. In just a few seconds, all the information from the cameras to the list of guests was fully displayed on the screen. While concentrating, Chen Yuan scanned the positioning screen and immediately discovered a super tiny hidden camera located less than 3 meters away from him. He continued to scroll through the registration list and saw the name Referee Dawson, Bella's manager, who was in room 3601. All of this is too perfect, made Chen Yuan suspect that this case was bigger than he had imagined. This camera was the latest model, a technology invented in the United States capable of transmitting signals over a distance of about 30 meters, and rooms 3601 and 3602 overlapped with a distance of exactly 30 meters. There's definitely a problem, Chen Yuan deduced. Even though the sender of the roses may not necessarily be Waisha Man Kwa himself, just by following the clues, I can narrow down the suspects more accurately. This time, there's no way of escape. Just as Chen Yuan was calculating, Qin Wushuang and Yi Han from the next room rushed in looking anxious. Chen Yuan, are you okay? The noise just now startled us awake, and when we looked over, we saw your room filled with police. What just happened? Seeing the two girls who looked tense, checking in front and then behind, Chen Yuan could only scratch his head and smile awkwardly. Captain stood by, his eyes wide open. How is it that this person is so blessed? Even after being ambushed, he still has 2 beautiful girls by his side, caring and asking about him. The 2 girls not only possessed stunning beauty, but also had captivating charisma that made everyone admire them. Chen Yuan simply smiled lightly in response. It's okay. Just now I drank some water and discovered that this bottle of water is poison. As soon as he finished speaking, Yi Han and Qin Wushuang turned pale as if they had seen a ghost, and before they could close their mouths, they exclaimed, "What? It's poisoned?" Chen Yuan calmly held the water bottle, opened the cap, and poured it straight onto the floor. As soon as the water hit the ground, it fizzed with a white foam, as if someone had just poured a whole bottle of soap into it. Yi Han panicked, stammering, "Oh my god, you drank it, and you're not scared?" Qin Wushuan was no less shocked, her face as pale as ever, about to ask Chen Yuan if he planned to meet his ancestors soon. Chen Yuan just shrugged and coldly replied, "Childish game, this farce can't harm me. These basic poisons are too ordinary." Then he turned to the captain and said seriously, "Captain Zhang, please take these bottles of water for testing and review the cameras from yesterday afternoon until now to see who has entered my room. While you're at it, please check this room as well. I suspect it has hidden cameras. I would appreciate it if you could check carefully. Just return the result, no explanation needed, nothing else." After using the scanning machine for inspection, a policeman shouted, "Captain, I found a small camera, the same color as the ceiling. Good thing we checked thoroughly, otherwise no one would have noticed." The police captain immediately became serious and said to Chen Yuan, "Mr. Chen, you can rest assured. From now on, the entire hotel will be carefully inspected." After saying this, his face was as tense as a taut string, thinking about how someone dared to poison right next to him, which made him quite uncomfortable. Qin Wushuang and Yi Han exchanged glances, a chill running down their spines. They thought, this assassin is truly sinister. To dare to execute a poisoning right in front of the special forces, that's really audacious. In a corner of the hotel, Waisha Man Kui stood by the window, looking dejected and muttering, "I didn't expect the mission to become this difficult. It seems it's time to use Plan C. Fortunately, I haven't had to get my hands dirty in any of this. Even if the camera is discovered or the disguise as a hotel staff member is revealed, there's no way to link it back to me. Even the commission was arranged through Bella's assistant. There's no evidence pointing to me. Or maybe the dosage of the drug wasn't strong enough." Thinking of this, Waisha Man Ku felt a little annoyed, but he quickly extinguished that feeling. He opened the window and threw the $10,000 tablet into the lake below. The tablet fell without making a sound. He nodded slightly, satisfied with his perfection. Even if Chen Yuan has suspicions, he will surely think of Bella Hathaway first. But Waisha Man Ku had no way of knowing that Chen Yuan had passed through the high-end system. He had already ruled Bella Hathaway out of suspicion. Without Bella distorting the view, he began to see through other shady matters. The case became clearer and no longer tangled like a ball of thread. Meanwhile, the police were still pulling their hair out trying to find evidence. Chen Yuan was playing big with his intuition, which was enough to illuminate everything. In the end, they still couldn't catch the assassin. The police had no choice but to regretfully report back to Chen Yuan. Immediately after discovering something suspicious, we began to investigate the case more deeply. However, just as we focused on a suspicious room service attendant who had previously cleaned Mr. Chen's room, he had an accident and died on the spot, leaving no clues behind. Chen Yuan asked again, his voice filled with skepticism. Car accident, and he's dead. The police nodded in frustration and continued. We also organized a thorough check of the hotel, scouring every nook and cranny to find anyone suspicious, but we did not find any staff members showing any signs of wrongdoing. The only noteworthy thing is that someone had sent you a bouquet of roses, and the person who sent it was Bella Hathaway. Bella's assistant ordered it. We then sought out Bella. She explained with utmost sincerity, I saw Mr. Chen narrowly escape an assassination, so I sent the bouquet of roses to apologize. It's just roses, a way to express my regret. Why does everyone think it's an assassination attempt? Seeing that these police officers were not able to do anything, Chen Yuan also felt tired. So he went straight to the point. Everything seems vague. There are no clear signs to draw a conclusion. Hearing this, the police captain smiled wryly and explained, there is no evidence to prove that she is the real culprit. Although we do feel that something is off, without clear evidence, how can we dare to arrest someone? Furthermore, this case involves an international superstar like Bella Hathaway, so we must handle it with extra care. Otherwise, it could turn into a big issue. Feeling helpless, the police captain regretfully said, Mr. Chen, we sincerely apologize, but we will find more evidence to arrest the assassin. Ah, the type of poison you ingested has been analyzed. This poison has the code number 008, which is extremely toxic. Just less than 1 milliliter is enough to send a person to the other world. Even though you have vomited it out, I still advise you to go to the hospital for a checkup if anything feels off. Chen Yuan calmly responded, without any sign of agitation. I understand you have your principles, and I am very aware of that. As soon as I greeted the police and closed the door to the room, a faint smile appeared on my lips. But Chen Yuan's eyes were filled with anger. Although I am not a police officer with my genius reasoning skills, I am confident that I can bring the mastermind to light no matter how skilled they are at hiding. I have never liked to handle problems myself, especially when it involves people like Wai Shaman Kui, an assassin with many schemes and plans. Doing such things myself is just exhausting. So Chen Yuan decided to use the lethal option he had prepared. Chen Yuan logged into the Darknet, an underground world online where one can kill without showing your face. He deposited exactly $100 million for this special mission. Calm as ever, Chen Yuan added the name Ripley Dawson to the blacklist, noting his professional identity along with a verifying photo. Once finished, he smiled gently. Let someone else do it quickly. If you're going to play, you might as well play the right way. If I have to hire someone to kill others, then I'll hire a hitman to kill you. After the bounty was posted, within just 5 minutes, the entire Darknet seemed more lively. Oh, who is so generous? $100 million enough for a lifetime. The assassins scrambled to take on the mission, each becoming increasingly curious about Ripley Dawson. This name doesn't seem ordinary. He has connections and is tied to A-list stars like Bella, Angela, and Mina. One assassin nodded thoughtfully. Maybe this guy has another identity that hasn't been revealed yet. But who cares? With such a huge amount of money on the line, it has to be done. Just take the money and get to work. Everyone volunteered for the mission as if the heavens had just thrown them a sweet cake. The assassins lingering around Huaxia, or not too far away, suddenly had their eyes lit up. Oh my god, Ripri is right beneath my feet. This is a golden opportunity. I can't let it slip. Just 3 days, I'll handle it quickly. Confidently patting his chest, he was determined to eliminate Rempri before anyone else could. But life isn't a dream. Immediately, another assassin colleague announced, Buddy, you're late.